up? So in today's video I am going to be sharing with you things people don't tell you about college. I have been in college for about a month and a half or so. So yes, I'm still a baby freshman. I still am supposed to be clueless about everything, but I've learned a few things being here. The way I'm going to be doing this video is the first part of the video is going to be answering questions that you guys asked me about college and my college experience, and then I'm going to go into like 5 things that no one told me before coming to college. So the first question is from Erica, and she says, what are you going to college for? So my major is communications and advertising with a minor in graphic design. So I want to work on the creative side of advertising because I feel like I've done advertisements before, I've done sponsorship videos, and I also just love like editing and kind of being in that more creative side. I mean, obviously I do YouTube, so makes more sense for me to do something creative versus like physics, because no offense, but that's just not for me. But I really do like my classes for my actual major, so that's good. The next question is from Kesha, and she said, if you had to give one study tip, what would it be? I feel like I'm the worst person to ask for studying because I like do homework in my bed versus at a desk versus at like a library. But for me, all of the exams that I have had is honestly, you just need to focus in class. I can like write down notes in my journal and like go back and like look at it later, but honestly, if I just like have nothing in front of me and I'm just like looking at the board and seeing what he is saying and I try to like listen and comprehend what he's saying versus try to like, you know, copy everything down that he writes, because they post it most likely online afterwards. So I really just like concentrate in class, because so far that's been working out pretty well in statistics, because I'm shockingly doing okay. So my major study tip is to pay a lot more attention in class and just kind of like try to sit there and absorb everything, and then whatever you don't understand you can go back and get help. Because help, again, another tip is help is okay. You can go to study groups, you can go, they have the resources there for a reason. So the next question is from Sabrina, and she says, what's your suggestion for getting involved on campus and making friends? As an adult, it's hard to make new friends. So this is actually something I'm going to be talking about in the second part of this video. But for me, it seems like unless you want to go out and party every weekend, it's really hard to make friends that aren't in your classes, because unless you're part of a group, which I suggest being a part of a group, because then you can meet people and socialize, but it is really hard to make friends in college versus high school, because high school you are surrounded by more or less the same people for, you know, 4 years, and starting right off the bat in college you are in a totally new territory, and it's so understandable that it's hard to make friends. I would just say you need to get out there and join a group. Personally, right now I've been so busy with work and other things, I don't really, and this sucks to say, have time to like dance in college, which is something I love to do in high school. But I mean, honestly, I'm just more social, like in the elevator, you know, I say hi to everybody when they walk in the elevator, or you know, if I'm like sitting near somebody in the cafeteria, I'll like say hi, or like just like have small conversations, you know, like in the lunch lines, and then you can be like, oh, add me on Snapchat, or like here's my number if you have any questions. And then the last question is from Kayla with a C actually, so I like your name, but you spell it wrong. What is the best class you have taken so far? So since I am a freshman, I haven't taken that many classes yet, but the ones I'm taking now, like I said, I really like the classes that are for my specific major, so not like theology and stats and stuff like that, but I'm in this one advertising class where we're learning how to do Photoshop and Illustrator, any kind of like tool that I would need to use for graphic design. It's creative, you know, you're not sitting in the lecture hall. It's like a small class of less than like 20 people. So I think that would be my favorite class, because I feel like those tools that I'm learning are actually going to be useful to me in my career versus like theology, which is just like a requirement that I have to take. Now going into the things that people do not tell you before you go to college. So the first one that I think is the biggest thing, unless you are living in a single, you do not have to be friends with your roommates whatsoever. I kind of knew this coming in to college, and a lot of people that I have talked with, just like certain people that are like the resident hall directors or people like that, I guess like it's not a common thing to know, like you don't have to be best friends with your roommates. If you can get along with them and you can you know, be civil with them and like cohesively live together, you should be alright. But for me personally, I came into college knowing I didn't have to be best friends with my roommates, and I would say like we're like decently friends, like, you know, we'll all go get breakfast in the morning together, but it's not like I like hang out with them and I go out to dinner, or I go out and, you know, party with them. Like, I have separate group of friends, and for me personally, that's okay. It doesn't bother me that I'm not like best friends with my roommates, and if they watch this video, I really, oh god, if they watch this video, oh boy. And just like going along with that, like, the other thing that people don't tell you about college is that you more or less, you know, you won't have the same friends you had freshman year. You could easily meet your best friend freshman year, but just like in high school, if I look back, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, the people I met freshman year in high school, I did not leave high school with. Freshman year is when you have to socialize and get out there to try to meet new people, but not everybody sticks. Personally, that's, for me, is fine. I'd rather have like 3 best friends than like 40 like acquaintances. Another thing people don't tell you about college is that you will never ever have alone time unless your schedule is very minimal. So personally for me right now, for trying to film YouTube videos, I find it very difficult to not have other roommates in the room while I'm filming, because one, it's just awkward. I just have never liked filming in front of other people, and I feel like when I'm filming, I'm talking louder than I would like on the phone or just like with somebody that's actually here. So for some reason my roommates aren't here right now. Like, they're all at class. I think one of them's in the library, so I took the opportunity now to film. Unless you're living in a single or you're older and have your own apartment, you know, the whole point of dorms is to be social and meet new people, and you know, you're sitting in lecture halls with hundreds of people. You are living more or less on or very close to campus. You don't need to really commute to campus like you do for our high school. You know, look out your window and you see about 50 backpacks just like crossing the lawn. Like, you know, there's always people. I live right now in a very urban city, so there's always people, there's always noise. It's very different. I grew up an only child, so I had the room to myself with just a dog, but now I'm sharing with 3 people, so you gotta kind of learn to figure out how to balance. And you know, if you can find time alone, I would, but again, it's not the easiest to have alone time, and you know, your personal space might be slightly limited, but you do what you gotta do. Also, another thing is that college, I think from just the movies, is everybody is partying every weekend. It's the thing to do, and honestly for me to even think about going out Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, like, that just sounds exhausting. And for me personally, my friends here know this, I don't really like to party. Like, I feel like that's so weird to say. Like, what teenager doesn't like to go out? No, I honestly rather hang out with friends in, you know, the common room or the like living room and just like watch a movie, or if I have alone time, just to, you know, sit on my computer and catch up on some shows, which I know sounds like a grandma, but you know, I don't mind going to bed at like 10 p.m. Like, I feel like that's super early for so many people, but I like my sleep and I don't want to be crabby in the morning, so I don't need to go out to party every weekend, and I'm totally okay with it, and you should be too. Eventually you're going to realize that your priority at college should be school. I know people say that college is like the best 4 years of your life and all you do is party and have fun and do all this stuff, but like, I rather, you know, get my education and done with. I don't want to stay any longer than I have to just because I slacked off, you know, in college and on weekends when I should have been studying, you know, and I decided to like go party instead. Like, for me, I'd rather just study and get my work done, you know. One of the last things is that it's okay to be homesick. The first week of coming to college, I was not homesick, but a lot of my best friends who actually went a bit further, where they maybe have a 6-hour drive or a plane ride to go, were homesick, and it's okay. Like, everybody gets homesick, and I think for me, I haven't been homesick because I'm only like an hour away and I can easily get back home. So for me, it's not really a problem, but you can be homesick. You know, you can tell your friends that it's okay to be homesick. You know, everybody is in that same boat. Everyone is living on their own for the most part. You don't have your parents to cook you dinner. You don't have your parents to do your laundry. Like, you are on your own, and it's scary and it can suck. But if you make the most of it, and you know, you try to busy yourself and get involved, then you're not really thinking about like all this stuff you're missing when you're back home. And then the last thing that I think is important to know that people don't really mention to you is that you need to take care of your own health. And what I mean by that is, if you are not sleeping, if you are not eating the best food, if you're having the dorm room pizza and burgers every night, like, you probably more or less will feel possibly the freshman 15, or you could just be put in a really crappy mood. For me, it was really hard to learn how to sleep in the dorm room because of just like little tedious things, but that have worked themselves out recently. But for me, it's just like, I want my sleep. I make sure that I'm eating decently okay, not just because I'm diabetic, but just because I definitely don't want to gain that freshman 15. So I would say to really try to focus on your health and just like be aware, like, if you aren't feeling how you should be feeling, you know, and that goes with like being homesick, that goes with being stressed with school, you know, take care of your health. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things, and I feel like it's just such a common thing. But when you're so stressed with term papers and midterms and all this stuff, you know, your health is like way back here, like you're not even thinking about it. But if you're healthy, you know, you're more likely to do well, and you're just more likely to have a good time. And also, it's getting really hot because I had to turn the fans off because the fans make too much noise for videos. But that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was more of a sit down kind of advice video, which I haven't really done before, but I feel like I'm good at advice. So that's my video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. Like I always say, it's floating around either here or here. Can't remember when I flip the screen. But that is my video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.